welcome to a new episode of All Sorts of Sports.
All sports, yeah, you know that.
Or what you're about to.
In your ass. All right.
Okay. Also, forgive me for my voice, and because I know I probably sound nasally as fuck. I'm under the weather, and that doesn't fucking matter because Flu Game King is here to play. And so we're here to talk about some fucking sports, and let's get straight to it. Let's start off with Matt Ryan being benched for the rest of the year for Sam. Was it Ehrlinger? Is it Ehrlinger?
Ehrlinger.
I think Ehrlinger.
Yeah. Ehrlinger. Okay, Ehrlinger.
No one knows how to say this.
Did he go to Texas? Where did he go?
Yeah.
Where did he go?
Yeah.
Texas.
And the kid looked lights out in preseason. He was great.
So I wanted to talk about that point, Ryan, because I haven't seen much of him, but from what like Ian Rappaport said, but this could have been just PR. Like he's been looking, a lot of teams were interested in him and like talking about maybe trading for him. I fucking doubt that. But how good is this guy, guys? Because I haven't been following him. I do remember him being at Texas, but I know nothing else literally about him. How do we feel about this move, and what are your thoughts on Sam? I want to start with Ryan.
So I don't know if you guys have been watching the Colts and Matty Ice, but he was unfortunately in my 2 QB league. I forgot it was a 2 QB league. And I was like, why are people picking quarterbacks so early? And I was like, oh, shit. So I ended up with Matt Ryan on one of my teams. And that guy is not the guy. Remember, I forget who it was. Was it KDot? It was like, Matt Ryan's an upgrade from last year.
Oh, yeah, that was her. I said that as well.
Yeah, we were wrong. Matt Ryan is, 1, playing hurt. 2, he's a statue, but he's a statue without an arm. Ehrlinger in the preseason looked real good, very efficient, obviously more mobile than Matt Ryan. He's probably going to have some growing pains actually going up against, the first teams instead of the second teams, but he gives them at least some mobility so that they can't just rush 4 because he can get outside the pocket and still make throws. Kid look good at Texas. Kid look good in the preseason. I still think they're just going to run the ball, right? So I don't know how much he's actually going to have to do.
But they haven't been. That's the problem. As somebody who owns Jonathan Taylor,
this kind of forces them.
Who owns Jonathan Taylor? Why haven't we been doing that?
This kind of forces them to do that now, though, right? Because they're slotting in a rookie QB mid-season, so they're going to have to rely on their running game and then let him pass when they start stacking the box. So. For all of us Jonathan Taylor fantasy owners, I hope. But watch him fuck it. I don't know. But I think the kid's much better than Matt Ryan's been. So,
look, the Jonathan Taylor portion of this is probably the most interesting aspect because I'm looking at – so these are his carries over the games that he started this season, okay? 31, 9, 21, 20, 10. Last week against Tennessee – 5.8 yards a carry, and you only rush him 10 times. What's up with that? Also,
it was a close game. They can't use the. We were down by 15.
See what I'm saying?
We were down by. No, it was a close game.
They were talking about the second highest rushing carries that he got. They beat Kansas City. So, like at the end of the day, when I'm looking at the Indianapolis Colts, the recipe for success is running the football with Jonathan Taylor. Matt Ryan, yes. Look, we all know when it comes to the quarterback position, probably more than any other position in football, when you hit that I'm old standpoint, you fall off a fucking cliff, right? So it's like there's usually not a precipitous decline. It's over. You don't have it anymore. And I think Matt Ryan, not only not being healthy, as we've now established, he's just not getting the job. He can't do anything with his feet. He's just not happening. Like Indianapolis has been in quarterback hell since Andrew Luck left. Okay, they've been trying to figure out what the fuck the piece was. And in all honesty, the best looking quarterback that they've had since he's left has been Carson Wentz last year until it fell apart at the end of the year. But I think what's happening right now at the end of the day.
Phillip though?
No. Did you see Phillip's ability to throw a football that year?
He got him to the dance though.
I'm not. Once again, until Carson fell apart at the end of the year, right? So like, he fell apart. You got to understand that. But I'm saying that like that run that Carson had with the team.
That didn't get him to the playoffs. Right?
Got it. But you had Jim Irsay. Look, if it was up to Frank Reich, right, who I think right now you got to kind of question what Frank Reich is doing because he's supposed to be
not kind of.
You got to be questioning what Frank Reich is doing, right? Because he's supposed to be the quarterback guy, and yet you look at all the quarterbacks they've had over his tenure, and nobody's really caught on. But I actually think if it was up to Frank Reich, Carson Wentz would still be on the team. And I honestly do now look at it and say that while I did think Matt Ryan would absolutely be an upgrade over Carson Wentz, I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong. Matt Ryan, he's hit the cliff. And I actually do think Carson Wentz with that team and that running attack would have been, I think he would have even taken a step forward under Indianapolis this year. But it was Jim Irsay freaking out at the end of the year and didn't want him on the team. And it was the end all be all. It is what it is. The only other point I'd make is that Washington clearly won this trade. Fuck you, Indianapolis. Not only do you guys are on the hook for Matt Ryan next year, we can get out of the Carson Wentz thing. Not a problem. Philadelphia's looking at you guys like you're a bunch of fucking chumps because they got a first-round pick that you guys don't have. And then outside of that shit, if Carson stays hurt and Taylor Heineke keeps winning games, guess what happens? Third-round pick, not a second-round pick. So fuck off.
All right. So at what point are we going to say that the Colts really just aren't a good team and they haven't been for a while?
No.
I'm not doing that.
I'm not with you on that. In terms, what do you mean, Jay, in
terms of results?
Okay.
Talent, they have talent.
Okay.
They just haven't lived up to it, and
Frank Reich.
They kind of won't.
Or hear me out.
I do want to add a couple other things. I have points here. So when you think about the Colts, right? They brought in Matt Ryan, so of course they needed Jonathan Taylor to run the ball. They have 2 rushing touchdowns all year. They are bottom 5 in most rushing stats. They average 81 yards a game.
That's bad.
3.5 yards a carry. What are we doing here? Like, I drafted Jonathan Taylor number 1 in one of the 8 leagues I'm in, and I'm pretty much screwed because he hasn't done shit. Are you guys comfortable saying that Jim Irsay is reaching like Jerry Jones level of meddling with the team? And
not yet. That he'd have to do a lot worse than what he's doing currently.
Yeah,
what he has done the past year or two has been Jerry Jones types moves.
Well, what move other than the Carson Wentz for Matt Ryan bit?
All the shit that he's been saying about Matt Ryan now.
All right, look,
Jim
Irsay, the thing with Irsay is that Irsay is a loose cannon when it comes to what he says, right? Which in some circumstances you love his honesty as far as what he's feeling, like him going after Dan Snyder when no other owner had the balls to.
Yep.
But it's also because Irsay is like dude that, unlike the other billionaires that own teams, he's not afraid of anybody really coming after him because we know all his dirt, right? So like at the end of the day, but he's still an Irsay and fuck his dad in the ass with a rusty spoon. He's an Irsay. So I think he's always going to be that dude that's loose with lips. Like if you hear Pat McAfee tell all kinds of stories about him, right? He's one of those dudes. But as far as meddling, like actually getting involved with the team, if there's anything I'm going to give him shit for, and give the organization shit for, is y'all fucked up the number 1 commodity with Andrew Luck and try to build and protect that man. And that's the thing that I'm saying. The chickens have come home to roost as far as these assholes because they should have taken care of Andrew Luck. And if Andrew Luck was still their quarterback and they had done what they needed to take care of him, there's a good chance Indianapolis already has a fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's 27, 28?
The year that Andrew Luck was coming in, the year that he retired, that was everybody's dark horse team.
Yeah.
Have you seen him recently?
Yeah, he looks great.
Hey, he's loving life.
He looks happy.
Yeah, he's just out there smiling, supporting.
He still talk like he got a mouthful of spit, but he's
but he always says something great.
He's out here supporting women.
Positive.
Yeah.
Who would you not? That is the face of your franchise. You fucked it up.
No, it was the face of your franchise.
But they fucked it up.
I just want to add, I think this is more of a Frank Reich issue than it is a quarterback issue. I think we could have helped statuesque Matt Ryan a lot more. He should have been, for example, like Lamar Jackson is more mobile than Matt Ryan, and he threw 16 passes against the Browns, right? Like, buddy, let's just force feed the Jonathan Taylor the fucking ball, and when we do throw it, let's also incorporate some screens. Let's get some quick passes. We can take a couple deep shots with Pittman now that we have Matt Ryan, but we should have been force feeding Jonathan Taylor. He should have gotten the ball 25 plus times in every game.
Who's the second running back?
Hines.
Yeah, Nyheim Hines is he's like He's
Force
stellar. Yeah.
Force feed them the ball. You
Set
don't
up
even have good wide receivers outside of Pittman.
Set up
You
in
don't
two
have
back
good wide
sets.
receivers outside of Pittman, really.
Just do this.
But
Doesn't matter.
You see what's weird though? Like last year, they were averaging 5.1 yards a carry per game.
It's
Now they're
dropped.
at 3.5.
It's absolutely
Like,
dropped. The
yeah,
thing
but
is that they have given Jonathan Taylor the rock in some of these games. It just hasn't turned out the way that
They have 160 attempts, which is towards the bottom of the NFL.
Well, that's also
to be
because
fair,
Taylor goes
Jonathan
out.
Taylor missed like 2 games.
Right.
And
No,
like
I'm not talking about Jonathan Taylor.
And
I'm talking
Hines
about
was
the team
out
as a
too.
whole.
They had, what was it, Keon Deion Jackson?
No,
The
but
team as a
Jonathan
whole.
Taylor affects that yard per carry. Because like
Right.
if he's playing another
I'm talking about the
different.
attempts.
No, but the attempts
attempts
as
are
well.
160.
No, I'm saying the attempts as well. Jonathan Taylor being in compared to being out, those attempts look a lot different.
I also heard, and it may be a rumor because I haven't had time. I was going to do it today, but I got busy. I heard a rumor that Matt Ryan was adjusting away from run plays to pass plays, which was really pissing people off at the line. And I haven't gone back to watch this last game, but if that's true, that would be a reason to be like, you're not our quarterback because you don't know how to run this offense. And
That might be the case.
I would have benched him too.
Because like that was the thing that actually we've been critical in Washington with Carson Wentz, or not Carson Wentz, but the offensive staff, is that one of the things they actually said Carson did a good job of in Indianapolis was checking out of things. They gave him the ability to do so at the line, and in Washington and that's been something that Carson actually does a pretty good job as far as reading defense pre-snap and knowing whether or not to, all right, we're going to stick with the run and we're going to not. And if that's the case, it does actually speak volumes to Jonathan Taylor's output last year compared to what's happening this year. It makes a lot of sense.
Just not making the right decisions at the line, going pass when you should go run and going run when you should go pass.
But I will absolutely say that this guy, Sam Ehrlinger, whatever the fuck you want to call him, I do think that Indianapolis sees a significant boost as far as what they're doing on offense behind this new guy, and the fact that you got defenses that can't necessarily scheme against a guy that has no tape.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited to see them run the ball 40 times next week.
This is before we transition
2
to
yards a
another
carry.
running back topic, I just want to give you guys a quick thing. The Saints are currently 2-5. Their first round pick belongs to the Eagles. The Browns are 2-5. Their first round pick belongs to the Texans. The Broncos are 2-5, and their first round pick belongs to the Seahawks.
Let's ride.
Give you guys that little bit of information.
It's fucking hilarious.
And so
everybody thought they were the Rams for a second.
And
it was interesting as hell.
No, it made a great offseason.
Yeah.
Speaking of trades and running games, CMC was traded to the 49ers. He made his debut Sunday. He carried the ball around 8 times, but he touched it in the past game a couple times as well. He looked good to me. Like he looked kind of explosive. He looked good. Looked like he'd be a great fit in that offense. And I can imagine him, in maybe one season with Trey Lance, possibly next year. Like what a read option will look like with Christian McCaffrey, short passing game, Debo, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk doing the long ball.
Are you feeling okay?
Kind of excited about that offense. But how do you guys feel about the CMC trade? Did they give up too much, do you think? And I just want to say that just for like the viewers and everything. So what they gave up was apparently like the equivalent to a top 10 first round pick is what people are saying. Mm-hmm. So I started with Ryan last time. James, you go.
So from what I saw, it was close to around like the top 5, top 4 pick.
They said top 4, but another model said top 10, so I didn't want to.
So it's like
top 10.
It's not like towards the back end. It's like in the middle, right? And why would you I wouldn't want to give that up for a running back, 2, somebody who's injury prone as to what he is. 3, I don't think running back was the issue with the 49ers. So it's like I can see it, but at the same time, you had other holes that you could fill, and you could use that draft capital to pick up something that you actually needed right now. Like CMC is going to be it's going to look nice, right? But
yeah.
Did they need a D tackle? Did they need another corner?
They needed a fucking other corner because they lost one for the fucking year, didn't they?
Right. And it's like, yeah, you might be able to get JC Horn, So
I want to piggyback off that and just say, like, so I agree with you that they necessarily need a running back, but I do see why they upgraded. It was a necessary upgrade in the sense that this will put you over the top. Shanahan is a running game genius. Like their running backs are more so like we're putting you in a great scheme and we're making you look good. They had Kirk Cousins at running backs, like Elijah Mitchell, and like they had like the Jermichael Hasties, even though he's in Jacksonville now. And like the Jeff Wilson Juniors, they had those guys. Like no guys that anybody else will trade for or anybody else cares about, but they look good in San Francisco. Like they pump out fucking running backs. It's a fucking factory. They got a bunch of like good polished mid at running back, and they make it look like it's gas.
Effective.
And they make it like it's gas. No, it's effective. I agree with you. But I think they do think that having a weapon like CMC would take them over the top because you got to account for him in the passing game. You know, I think he helped free up Kittle some in that game that we saw on Sunday, even though they lost. I think you can stop maybe using Debo a little bit too much in terms of having him be the wide back.
See, you know what's going to happen? They're going to put Debo in the backfield and put McCaffrey in the slot.
You can't, but it gives them more versatility, and I appreciate that. But I just want to say I agree with you. They didn't necessarily need it. They gave up a lot. I want to add to your point. What I think for the next 3 years, he's owed like $19 million a year, and that can be kind of hard to swallow,
especially when you're not playing.
especially the way running backs age, man. He's not 22. You didn't trade for a 22-year-old like superstar like. Traded for guys like 26, 27. You know what I'm saying?
Once you hit 30, like look at the other running backs in their division.
But yeah.
Like you remember what happened to Todd Gurley?
Yeah, no. I'm with you. But yeah, so I'm excited to see the offense, but I question the move. I really do question the move. But hey, I can be proven wrong. We can see it could be worth it in the end.
So when I was thinking about this trade,
am I last every time?
Okay. Yeah,
no, you just let him jump in.
I was trying to be nice about it. Oh, all right.
I went last time.
Oh,
go ahead, KDot.
All right, can I go? Okay.
We just skipping over.
Yeah, fuck you, you racist prick.
So what I was gonna say is. No, go ahead.
This is what happens when KDot is nice.
It's more your racism.
Like, I'm trying to be nice about it.
I was really. All right, look. This move is great. What is San Francisco going to do? Draft another Trey Lance? Like, at the end of the day, Christian McCaffrey and what it is that you're concerned about as far as his injury history or anything else is dependent on one thing above all else when he was in Carolina, his fucking usage rate. You're talking about in 2017, 70% of the usage on offense. 2018, it's 91% of usage on offense. In 2019, 93% of your usage on offense. You talk about a dude that got over 100 receptions and 200 plus carries every single time. Guess what they're not going to ask of him in San Francisco? To utilize that much of the fucking offense. You have Elijah Mitchell coming off of IR, will probably be back. You got a Debo Samuel that you can slot everywhere. And you got Christian McCaffrey, who damn near's a better fucking receiver than he is a goddamn running back. Like, that's the thing. It gives them utility. It gives them usage everywhere across that offense. Especially when you got a Jimmy Garoppolo who's now your starter. And as we've talked about, there's a ceiling with Jimmy Garoppolo. So what do you need to do on offense? Shore it up even more. Make it so that you can get guys the ball somewhere in the flat or something out of the backfield or end arounds, whatever, to get the ball moving. This is what this does. Also, Kyle Shanahan is a disciple of his father, Mike Shanahan, in the Gary Kubiak and Alex Gibbs style of zone blocking when it comes to running. They pull the guard. Trent Williams is the best goddamn tackle maybe in the history of NFL to be able to pull and be the lead block as far as the running back, right? But think about what Kyle Shanahan has had. Keem, you started mentioning it. What is the best running back Kyle Shanahan has ever had? 2012 Alfred Morris? Yeah. 2008 Steve Slayton?
Was Frank Gore there?
Devontae Freeman, maybe? Devontae Freeman, maybe?
Devontae Freeman.
Did he have Frank Gore?
No.
Oh, he didn't?
Devontae Freeman.
So we're talking about Carlos Hyde first year at San Francisco. Like, they turn nobodies into somebody, right? And now you actually have a somebody. And even Debo Samuel looked like the best thing out of the backfield last year. what you're going to be able to do is slot anybody to anything and have complete versatility. And what you're also going to do is, look, San Francisco, for the most part, any one of the complaints they've had on offense is they look kind of predictable as far as with certain guys lined up. There's no telling where the ball's going to go now.
All right. I hear you, right? I just want to play devil's advocate on one part.
Okay.
You remember how we were talking about Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, Chris Johnson, when they had those like seasons, and then what happened the following year, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of like their usage rate was pretty high, right?
Yeah.
What's the main issue with McCaffrey?
His injury history.
Yeah.
But I addressed that.
I mean,
come on, you got to look at Carolina and what they were asking him to do at that size in that offense. They're asking him to. You remember Le'Veon Bell holding out for Pittsburgh because, like, no fuckers, I'm not only your top running back, I'm your goddamn one of your top receiver. And Christian McCaffrey's been doing both things for years now, since 2017. And on that frame, of course you're not going to be healthy, bud. There's no chance you're going to be healthy.
He's just Luke Kuechly 2.0. So just real briefly, when I was looking at this trade, preseason, the Niners were like middle of the pack when they pre-ranked how good their O-line was. That ranking was wrong. And putting Christian McCaffrey into that offense is huge because they'll be able to run the ball because that offensive line is good. And on those screen passes that McCaffrey loves to catch and run for 25 yards, it's going to be you slot the two running backs who catch the ball really well in the backfield. Who are you guarding? That offense is going to be fucking awesome. They're going to protect their quarterback by having two guys that they are literally outlet passes to. And they probably looked at their offensive line. They're like, hey man, this is the year. We can do it this year. Why would we waste a top 10 pick on a Trey Lance next year or 3 years from now or whatever, when we have a chance right now to be a very, very, very good team. And we have the opportunity to go get probably the most versatile back in the league for what we would get a future versatile back or a future quarterback in that same position. So I don't blame them for doing what they did. C-Mac is the most frustrating fantasy player, but like one of my favorite players to watch on the field. That team's gonna be dirty. That team's gonna be real dirty once he gets ramped up.
Is Trent Williams back?
The offense. Yes, he played last game.
Awesome.
He also gave he wasn't 100% because he gave up that safety sack from the blind side. But I mean, what are you gonna do?
I'm glad to see him back.
Yeah, would anyone here be surprised if San Francisco was in the Super Bowl?
I would be.
Surprised, no.
Only because you said, one of y'all said Jimmy G's is the thing that takes him to the Super Bowl, and I want you to be fucking wrong.
That was KDot. Again.
I'm a Jimmy G guy, but that's the team that believes in him. But yeah, San Francisco's all in for this year. Because like at the end of the day, I don't see them continuing the Jimmy G experiment for way too much longer because they're not going to be able to. But beyond that, Trey Lance still did not look ready.
Do you think they beat Philly
in the playoffs?
I do.
In the playoffs,
absolutely.
I think they absolutely have a shot at that.
I would pick them.
If you would pick them,
I might pick them just because of playoff experience and Jalen Hurts.
Where they playing? I need to see it from Jalen.
Right.
I need to see it in the playoffs. I need to see it. I've seen it.
That defense is so good.
Yeah.
Philly. Yeah. Got it. San Francisco's third ranked. And at the end of the day, am I picking Miles Sanders or Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel in the playoffs to run the ball?
Miles Sanders.
And to be honest, San Francisco's
not just Miles, it's Jalen Hurts.
San Francisco lost some key pieces on that defense, and they're still looking good. But
San Francisco's going to be a fucking problem. As long as you play good defense, especially you got the pass rush, you can run the ball. You're always going to be in it.
Well, I have to see how they adjust to running the ball with McCaffrey because right now they're like middle of the pack. So we'll see what happens.
When Elijah Mitchell gets back,
that would be nice.
Can you imagine like a three-back set?
Split back.
Just imagine a three-back set with those dudes. Like
Wildcat,
all kinds of this is Kyle Shanahan's jizzing in his pants on the sideline.
I can't wait. A full house with Debo
And Debo and
McCaffrey,
C-Mac can both throw
Elijah,
the ball.
or you can place Elijah with Kittle.
And what do we talk about Shanahan? He's probably one of the other outside of McVay, he might be the craftiest schemer offensively, right?
Outside Andy is a thing.
And outside of Andy, I'll give you Andy. But there's how much does Bieniemy have to do with that? Nothing.
All right, so KDot, when you said their defense is third, right? Are you looking at yards or are you looking at points?
They're third in yards and ninth in points. Top 10 across the board. I'm good with that.
12 in points.
Ninth in points.
That last game didn't do it.
They got rocked.
Yeah. The last game fucked them up. They're 12 now.
Yeah,
but I will say that statistically, Mahomes had against a top 10 defense the best statistic game anyone has ever had against a top 10 defense in like the last 40 years. So that was, I think, an anomaly.
Angry Mahomes.
Yeah. Well, was he angry? Because
there was a particular team that beat him the week before.
Oh, who was that? Go.
Yeah, we all know. Fuck you. You know, here's the thing. Quick sidebar. Just give me 30 seconds. I was watching the Commanders game, and Ryan's texts were coming through because he watches every fucking snap because he's at heart still a Commanders fan, piece of shit. Like we all know. We all fucking know. You watch every goddamn snap, you motherfucker.
I can't get Sunday ticket because I don't have DirecTV, so I don't watch that garbage.
I've seen what you spend on things. You could have it if you wanted to, asshole, and don't tell me anything different.
It's not available in my house, which is why I need Amazon or fucking Apple to purchase the NFL.
You are still in your heart a fucking Commanders fan. I don't want to hear your shit.
That's the thing. Let me do it. It says I'm not eligible every time I try and sign up for it. It's real lame.
I doubt he's really trying because as long as he gets the Commanders games, he's okay.
Trust me. And here's what else is fucked up about DirecTV. Since we went down this route, my friend lives in Los Angeles. Her DirecTV is in Pittsburgh, but she's clearly in Los Angeles, and she can't watch the Steelers because it blacks her out. Fuck you, DirecTV. I hope you see this. Suck my full ass. All right, moving on.
Okay.
Well, they won't have it anymore soon. So.
Yeah, good. I hope they go under. I hope they're direct, not TV, you bitches.
James, do you want me to look at the tiny print that you just sent me and count down where they are on the defense?
Pause. Go ahead, KDot. King.
Speaking of running backs and future injuries and stuff like that, the Jets, who started off like great, in terms of New York teams, they've started off great. They lost their rookie running back Breece Hall to torn ACL, so he's out for the year. And then they announced that they are trading for James Robinson from the Jaguars to replace some of that punch. They still have Michael Carter, who is also a good running back, but they also lost their defensive tackle in that game as well. And I think that probably was a bigger loss than
not Quinnen. Was it Quinnen?
No.
Oh, okay.
I forget his name. But anyway, so guys, thoughts on the Jets losing Breece Hall and then kind of replacing them with James Robinson? Do we think their swan season will continue? Is this going to hurt them?
What did they trade for it?
Like nothing.
Like a 6th round pick.
Sixth round pick.
A 6th round they can turn to a 5th round.
Jacksonville has no idea how to use James Robinson. They haven't for the last 2 years, and he still has talent. With Travis Etienne there, it's just overkill. Beyond that, the thing with New York more than anything else is that they were finally getting Breece Hall in the mix, right? It's like he starts off the season fairly slow because they have Michael Carter and they're trying to figure it out. But you look at the last few games where he went 17 carries for 66 yards against Pittsburgh, then 18 carries for 97 yards, over 5 yards a carry against Miami. And then the Green Bay game, 20 carries for 116 yards. And then he got injured in the Broncos game where he was at 4 for 72. They were finally getting to figure out with Breece, so I feel terrible for him. I feel absolutely terrible for him. But James Robinson, I think, is still an extremely talented back in this league. And if they could slot him in and do some of the kind of things that they were doing Breece Hall, I think they'll be okay. That being said, I still think the New York teams overall are scrappy. They've got good defenses, which will put them in the mix of anything. But they're still not teams that I'm afraid of.
Yeah, I think his snap percentage had gotten to like 77%. Breece Hall's. And so he was basically their lead back, about to become and just take over. And he looks great. But anyway, James, go ahead.
I mean, I feel like what are they going to do about the D tackle? That's what I care about more. Like they need to replace the D tackle.
You think they can replace their production in the run game, basically?
Yeah, because I mean, you already had Michael Carter there. He was a good back, and now you pick up James Robinson, which is cool. You didn't give up much for him, but how are you going to replace the D tackle? Like, so, tomato, tomato.
Sauce.
Ryan.
Oh my god.
Um,
Hey, Sauce Gardner is the
so that the offensive line for the Jets is playing way above their weight right now. A lot of these runs have been because the offensive line and the scheming has been really good for the run game. I think James Robinson's going to slot right in. He'll go 15 carries for 75, 80 yards and a tug. I'm not really worried about their defense. They seem to have gotten it together. I realize replacing a D tackle is tough. But if they didn't go out and trade for one, I think they're going for it. This is their playoff year, right? This is butt fumbles behind them. This is the new Jets.
They got a really nice little schedule too when you look at it.
Do you think they're going for it, or is it just a natural progression of a young team?
King.
No, I think they're going for it. They could have just packed it in.
King. Look, so
They could have just gone with Michael Carter.
They lost to y'all, right?
Yeah, but a
King?
6th rounder.
Yeah.
They beat the Browns. They lost to the Bengals. They beat the Steelers, the Dolphins, the Packers, and the Broncos, right? We don't expect the Steelers to be good. The Dolphins, yeah, that was a good win. The Packers, like, they're underachieving all year. The Broncos are ass. They play the Patriots next. Then they got
Broncos
the Bills, which is the L.
Let's ride.
Then they play the Patriots again. Then they play the Bears, the Vikings, then the Bills, which is an L. The Lions, the Jags, the Seahawks, and the Dolphins. Like,
That doesn't seem very favorable to me, but okay. They got 2 losses coming to Buffalo. They'll probably split with New England. Chicago, what the fuck did we just watch? I don't know what that was. What is Chicago? And then
the Bears.
Minnesota. I mean, I don't think that one team is significantly better than the other there.
So you said
you don't.
Chicago, but Chicago just beat the shit out of New England.
Huh?
Hey,
no, that's what I said.
hey,
That's what I said about Chicago.
So also
Is it-
bringing that
twice?
welcome to the NFL moment against the best receiver in football.
What do you say?
It's also about to get that welcome to the NFL moment against the best receiver in football.
What do you mean? What is the Vikings record right now?
I think they
5-1, 5-1 and 1 or something.
yeah.
Did they get a tie?
Yeah, they're 5-1. 5-1.
Yeah. So like that's what I'm saying is like I don't know what Chicago is. I think they split with New England because it's division games, and they don't have necessarily a lot of success against New England historically. And New England's defense is still solid.
They split with New England because it's division game. Chicago you say the same about Buffalo.
Yeah, but that division.
KDot, Chicago's a city.
Shut up. Did anyone have Chicago beating the brakes off of them?
They got.
Oh, right. It was you who still came in. What was it? Second to last place in picks.
They're on the road for those last 2 games. They got to go to Seattle and beat Seattle, and they got to go to Miami and beat Miami that last. And this time, Tua, I don't think they had Tua, or maybe it was Tua's. You know,
they did not have Tua in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I could see them 4 or 5 more losses for sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was the Skylar Thompson game.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched that last game too.
Yeah, it was
a little bit.
So I'm just saying, like, the New York look? They're punching above they're punching up. They're punching up, and I give them that. The defense is solid. They're top 10 defense across the board. The Sauce Gardner looks amazing, right? But once again, the thing that they thought was the recipe for success was going to be Breece Hall and Michael Carter run the football, playing defense. Like we talk about some of these other teams, right? You got to replace the output that you were getting from Breece Hall, who looked like he was going to be the guy. You take the flyer on James Robinson, take the ball out of Zach Wilson's hands as far as being the number 1 primary guy. Then that's what you try to do. So hopefully it continues working out with them. But I still even thought with Breece Hall, there's a limit to how much New York is actually going to get done this year.
I disagree.
But like I said, they need to figure out how to replace the production from the D tackle. They were right behind the 49ers in terms of scoring defense. So
yeah, but there's no magic pill that you can have to replace what you're getting on D tackle. What are you gonna do? Go help Ndamukong Suh didn't eat himself out? Like where we at?
Whoever picks up Ndamukong Suh is gonna make a run. I'll say that.
A run for what?
Okay. Him and then I know that y'all are gonna trade Payne.
Maybe Tampa Bay can figure. I don't. That's not a guarantee.
All right.
With Phil Mathis going down, I think we're kind of back in a corner.
I want to switch to
They might have already replaced him.
Who?
The D tackle.
With
Oh, really?
With Linval Joseph, 2-time Super Bowl champion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does he play with the Broncos, right?
I think he was with the Vikings or the Chargers.
Wasn't he a Giant and a Viking and something?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All
right.
Batu Kasi, that's the guy's name.
To basketball, and then we're gonna come back to football. Last week we did this little, did a little NBA preview. And I believe, if I am correct, I want to start this one off actually because I haven't went first yet.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was Kadeen who picked the Philadelphia 76ers to go to the finals. I think he also picked them to win the finals.
I did.
They're going all the way this year, guys.
They are currently 0-3.
No, they're not.
No, they won. They won.
You're right. They're 1-3 now.
Mhm.
They're 1-3. They haven't looked good. Doc Rivers is still their head coach. James Harden isn't even fat. Joel Embiid.
James Harden is balling.
Well.
Harden's been amazing.
Embiid has been playing well.
Embiid has not been playing well. Have you watched any of the games?
He had that 40-point game
Last night or the other night, but all the turnovers.
No,
Have you been watching any of it?
It was the other game. It was the other game that they lost.
Didn't two of you fuckers have the Nets who were sitting in 1 and 2? She shut the fuck up.
Oh, we're
anything? Two of you that had the Nets in the fucking finals and they're sitting in 1 and 2, where you got Ben Simmons averaging 6 turnovers in 5,000 fucking game. Anybody got anything to say?
Historically, did you do fair well when we came to finals picks? Because I had the Warriors. Did you? So
you remember my caveat.
So
the only team out of the West that can win anything is Golden State.
I'm running off of history of being good at
this motherfucker. He changes it up every single. I only look at the recent stuff. I don't be looking in the past. This nigga changes every bit of logic that he needs to fit anything bullshit that he's saying at any given point in time.
I don't have the.
Look, at the end of the day, here's my problem with the 76ers. Because, yeah, I own it. I still think we are 4 games into an 82-game season. We are 4 games into an 82-game season. Mm-hmm. 2 of those losses came against probably the 2 best teams in the East, Milwaukee and Boston. Yes or no?
I didn't finish my point.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
He looks so hurt. He feels attacked.
Yeah, you're fucking worried about your goddamn Nets pick.
First of all, I would like to say,
is this a record?
Obviously, nobody really gives a fuck who's done what yet, so it doesn't really matter. You're just supposed to take the joke and run with it, KDot. Just stop attacking people, getting defensive, and run with the joke, okay? No, nobody. I don't care if the fucking Wizards are 4-0. It doesn't fucking matter.
2-1.
We're not fucking stupid. They're not going to make the playoffs because they're ass. I don't care. You got to fucking know.
Portland's undefeated.
It wouldn't fucking matter.
Anthony Simons had 8 threes.
Like you said. So it's a fucking joke because I'm not fucking stupid. So take the joke and go and run with it. Stick with the joke.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and it's the same thing I had to tell Brendan.
My question was going to be: are we at all concerned about the 76ers?
Yes.
No.
Yes. So this is the thing is yes. The reason I'm concerned about the 76ers is not necessarily they are still trying to figure out who they are as a team. Okay. Harden has looked amazing, but how it is that you're slotting Embiid in and how it is that Maxi's playing off of it. That what? You're just naming players
who are on the team. You're asking me who they are as a team. I was Joel Embiid.
Literal Ryan. He's a new character on the show. So look, at the end of the day, the only concern that I have about Philadelphia is the fact that Joel Embiid looks angry, but not angry in the sense that I'm going to use this to fuel me, but angry in the sense of he almost looks like he's checking out. Refusing to talk to the reporters after that loss, where we're 3 games into the season, it's not okay. Like that's a red flag to me. Okay. Like those are the things that I'm kind of worried about is that they just don't look as interested as a team right now. And that's an issue. But like, I will think that like that team is going to get it figured out. Like you look at the first 3 games that they had the losses for, they were averaging 11 points off the bench. They just didn't get the bench involved. And then you look at this game that they just won, I think it was 30 some points off the bench. Like that's the thing. They just don't understand exactly who they need to be as far as a team. Even defensively, they're not doing anything that they're supposed to do talent-wise. As far as they're supposed to be one of the best perimeter defense teams in the league. They aren't acting like it because they just don't look as interested in playing. That is a concern for me. But once they get it figured out as far as they are still one of the most talented teams in the league. They still have Joel fucking Embiid. James Harden's playing like Harden of old, which could be a concern because he never really worked too good with a second anyway. But there's that. But I still think Philadelphia overall, I feel completely solidified in my pick. I know I was probably wrong because once the playoffs hit, the Doc Rivers shit will start picking back up. I understand. I get it. But I like my pick.
I think
Real quick
Who's their bench people?
Real quick question.
What is that?
If they finish, like if they go like, let's say 5-10, so say they're 5-10, Doc Rivers getting fired?
yes.
No, not this early.
Okay.
You also got to look at you got to look at Daryl Morey, right? So what I think most likely happens is that they're going to be busy around the trade deadline. I'd actually be surprised if Tobias Harris is on the team past the trade deadline. Like I do think Morey is going to probably put some moves together to try to solidify this team before a playoff push.
Yeah, they're going to trade James Harden.
All right, let me ask you this question: what did they get for Tobias Harris?
I don't know yet. The market right now is going to look completely different than the market around the trade deadline.
Westbrook.
Well, that brings me to the Lakers thing. I'm of the idea that the Lakers need to make sure they hold on to Russ until the trade deadline.
Before we move on to the Lake Show, I just want to say I've watched every Sixers game so far. My biggest concern is Embiid on defense right now. Not playing well, not getting boards, which is what he does. Second chance points for Embiid are huge and big for that team. He looks just, as soon as the ball goes up, he's just checked out. Like, I'm a big guy. I got to walk back. It's going to take me a while.
A lot of standing around doing nothing.
A lot of not moving. And I'm assuming maybe he's just not in game shape. I don't know.
That's also the thing. He didn't play in the preseason like at all.
He doesn't look good right now. Like he had the 40-point game. Great. But James Harden's been carrying that team and that's not going to work. You need Joel playing.
They were doing the same exact shit that they did last year. And they didn't.
No, but well, and he also didn't he have like 7 threes like 2 games ago? Like, stop.
Well, that's the only thing. Well, you guys are saying hasn't been playing well. I think that's a stretch.
I watched him play. It didn't look good.
It's the look. It's not about his stats.
Threes is the only place he struggled statistically.
This is what I'm saying. It's not a statistics thing with Joel right now. He
didn't get to 10 boards last game. He didn't have 10 rebounds.
Look, that's
the game they won.
I know.
Hang on.
15, 12, and 13.
Look,
despite him.
Before Harden, even last year with Harden not being in good shape, it was still Joel was handling the ball a lot, and a lot of stuff was being facilitated off of Embiid. That's not the case this year. Harden's the lead guy, and that's what's been happening. And I think right now Embiid's trying to figure out what the balance is with Harden, and they got to figure that out, and how it is they get Maxey involved. And I just think right now, I think Ryan's onto something where he's just not in shape. Because you just look at Joel, he just doesn't have the same movement, and he looked like he got a bit of a belly on.
All right, over under a month until James Harden puts his fat suit back on.
Oh, he's not.
No.
He's locked in.
No,
James Harden is locked in.
Yeah, and then
he loves Philly. That is clear. He spent the offseason getting in shape and not clubbing.
Come on, dog.
Philly.
That's all you need to know about.
Do you know who else loves Philly?
I do.
Do you know who Meek Mill hangs out with? Robert Kraft. Do you know who used to play for Robert Kraft? Tom Brady. What a transition there. What a fucking transition.
We going to TB12 right now?
6 degrees of separation.
That man asked 50 questions.
This will transition us into...
You know he's a human being? You know who breathes?
our game pick.
And first of all, I've never seen Tom Brady breathe.
Before we get to our Thursday game, which is the Ravens and the Bucks, KDot wants to address Tom Brady. I'm not sure if he wants to address how he looks anemic. I'm not sure if he wants to address, if he looks like he's mentally okay following like the divorce and everything. I'm not sure because a lot of people have been talking about it, like the look in his actual face, like that there is concern there. And so I'm going to let KDot take this, and then we're just going to see where we go.
All right. I'll start off with this. I'll start with my thesis, and then we'll go.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Fuck you. Tampa Bay needs Bruce Arians back. Now, the reason I say that is that right now what we're seeing in Tampa Bay is Tom Brady unchecked, and it's a problem. I think what you saw as far as the success that he had in New England was a Bill Belichick that would never allow him to take 10 days off during fucking training camp and take Wednesdays off from fucking practice because you're just another fucking player, Tom. But right now, what you have as far as Tampa Bay is you have Tom Brady just doing whatever the fuck it is he wants to do. And I don't think that's endearing him to his teammates at all on that team. There used to be a guy that he had that was basically the conduit between what Tom speak was into making it cool and acceptable into the other players. And that was Rob Gronkowski. He's not there anymore. And also just looking at it from a scheme standpoint, one dude that they absolutely miss quite a bit, and I hate this motherfucker right now, is Antonio Brown. They have nobody to take the top off of fucking defense. Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, you see Mike Evans in that terrible drop that he had, they know what they're doing defensively against Tampa Bay. They can't get Leonard Fournette in that running attack established at fucking all. Like you look at up until the last week, I think Leonard Fournette was their number one pass catcher. That's a problem. So like right now you have Tom Brady who, if you look at what Tom Brady's recipes for success are, as far as where it is that he likes to throw the ball, as far as those crossing routes, as far as getting the ball to the tight end, they're not doing anything that's really helping him out. You've got Raheem Morris. You got Todd Bowles, who's the head coach, that has a defense in which he needs to kind of completely restructure. The amount of losses they have coming from last year into this year as far as the changes on defense, he needs full attention on the defense. And he's not able to do that because he's got to be the head coach and also try to keep things all under wraps when it comes to Tom. Tom is having the worst goddamn season probably personally in his entire life. And you can tell. You see how sickly he looks every time he goes up on the press conferences. You see all the forced laughs. There's nothing genuine at all. We were all loving Tampa Tom, right? And it looks like a fucking facade because we all know it's a facade. Brother, you're going through a divorce after you left your family to go play football again. It's not good. But I just think right now, more than anything, what Tom is missing is structure. Because what we see time and time again across all sports is if you give the superstar the keys to everything, it doesn't work. It never works. And this is what we're seeing with Tom. You can't have your leader in the locker room who's old enough to be some of these guys' daddy. be not the dude that's there in practice every day. Be not the dude that's flying to Robert Kraft's wedding, the one that Bill Belichick wasn't even going to go to. Because what? I'm preparing for a fucking game. I'm not going to a goddamn wedding. Tom's checked out, and it's a fucking problem, and they need to get it managed because Tom is still talented, and it'd be absolutely horrific for the greatest quarterback of all time to go out like this.
I don't know why he came back. I thought he should have stayed retired.
Nah, fuck that. He was around those kids.
I think it's displacement.
I don't know if what KDot. I don't know if what KDot is saying is like entirely true.
He's my favorite player.
I haven't really looked into Tom at all because I don't give a fuck about him.
Give a lot of fucks about Tom.
And so, but I've seen how he looks at press conferences. I've seen the photos and stuff, and you know, I don't ever want to touch that. Like with somebody's healthy, you never really know. But I said before the season, in which I'm rarely right. I said before the season that they would struggle. I had New Orleans winning that division. Saints going 10-7. I think I had Tampa Bay like 9-8 or something, and that's the team that they look like to me. So this isn't how they look now. Doesn't surprise me. It might surprise some people, but it doesn't surprise me. This is what I expected. And I don't know. My question would be to piggyback off one thing that Kate said. I don't know if this is a Todd Bowles thing, and I feel bad for Todd Bowles because it's a shit position to be in. Because I mean, if they look great. You look great because Tom is Tom. You look bad now. It's Todd was never the guy. You know what I'm saying? Todd was never the guy.
Todd can't control the team.
Todd and Byron are about to be scapegoats.
Oh yeah,
I feel bad for him in that sense. And I hope they can turn the ship around. And after they lose Thursday,
I don't think Byron's gonna be a scapegoat though.
Yeah,
his play calling's been shit.
I mean, it's that, but it's also. They're averaging 6.6 yards a attempt right now, which is one of the lowest in the league, and that's Tom. Check it down.
Mm-hmm.
So that's because he doesn't have time in the fucking pocket.
It's the same fucking offense from last year.
Different offensive line,
personnel, and different offensive line.
Yeah. How much?
The offensive line being gone is what I look at more.
Look at the drop. Look at the
that.
drop of production at post Antonio Brown for Tampa Bay last year.
All right, and also look at Mike Evans and Godwin being out, and Godwin coming back from an ACL tear.
Yeah.
So
he's not 100% yet.
He's not.
No, he's definitely not.
And neither is Mike Evans.
Right. But I'm telling you right now, even with both of those guys being 100%, there's still some things that need to happen in that offense. And the fact that they can't, Leonard Fournette looks like you got the fucking vision of Trent Richardson right now. The motherfucker just runs into things. It makes no sense whatsoever. He's actually looked fairly good in the passing game, kind of surprisingly. But it's just they need to figure out a way to scheme this out of it. But I think what's also hard pressed is that Bruce Arians was not afraid to be an asshole. I don't think Byron or Todd have it in them to check Tom Brady. I just don't. Like that's what I think. Who has the cachet to check Tom?
How much money, if you are Tampa right now, are you offering Gronkowski to come back to finish this?
There is zero chance in hell Gronkowski would ever come back.
I hear you, but how much money are you offering?
I don't think that would even.
It wouldn't change anything. Because Gronkowski's
going through a divorce.
He is not in game shape.
Displacement is real.
He's not in game shape at all, and he's going through the toughest period. Which brings me to my other thing. There is something that should happen next year.
What?
Bill Belichick, Tom Brady reunion. And
Jesus.
We need to see this happen.
Done after this year.
No, he's done.
I don't think he's done.
Hey,
I think he's done.
I don't think he's done.
I want to share something with you.
I hope he's done.
Because you guys were laughing at me. You guys were laughing. You thought it was so funny. In QBR, Tom Brady is 14th in the league. At 4 sits MVP candidate Geno
Smith. Yeah. Hey, I've been tweeting for the past few weeks. Denver traded for the wrong QB.
That's insane. All right. That's enough for Tom Brady. Let's talk about game picks. Off Tom Brady. Tom Brady plays at home Thursday against the Baltimore Ravens. His team is banged up, so are the Baltimore Ravens. Who wins what will likely very, very much likely be an ugly game?
The Ravens.
Okay. I'm going after everybody else.
I mean,
I haven't made my picks yet, so I'm making live.
Wait, hold on. Before we get into that, right? Who is man? Let's see. I keep asking every week.
It's me, asshole. It's first place. It's me. I know you're one game behind me now.
Yeah. So
I swear I'll count that 1 week after I get done with my work.
We gave you a deadline. It's passed.
No, that's not how this works.
All right, so I got the Ravens.
Okay.
Lamar has not looked great.
No, but
better than Tom.
Yeah, and Lamar.
It's not a high bar.
Lamar has,
but it's the bar we got. So here we are.
And they're also winning, or at least hanging in games where Lamar's looking horrible. So once Lamar clicks right back in, the team's gonna be very, very, very.
Not only that, but Tampa's defense is struggling, which is concerning to me. I did not expect it to be that bad.
Their leader is struggling, and that shit spreads throughout the team. So,
man, this is a toughie.
Where is it? Is it in Tampa?
It's in Tampa.
Oh yeah, Ravens by 1 billion. Tom's got to go not to his house with not his wife and not his kids. Yeah, he's not gonna like that. He'd probably prefer to be in a hotel. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? They probably still got moving trucks and shit outside.
Oh my God.
I am not. Nope. Nope.
Give me Tampa Bay. Give me Tom not losing, 3 in a row.
This is a game that the Baltimore Ravens should win easily, and that's why they will lose it. Go Tampa.
Go Tampa. I love it.
Tampa's defense still top 10.
I worry. Listen,
maybe top 5.
A lot of people listen. Okay, Greg Roman. There's been some issues with the offense. The running game is picked up. They're so inconsistent. They've struggled in the red zone. Some of it is on Lamar. Some of it is on Greg Roman. Some of it is on the injuries. And it's just the offense. I think the offense needs to change, and I think they need to keep losing to get the change that they need. And so they might lose to Tampa and then turn around and lose to New Orleans on Monday night and then go into the fucking bye week 4-6, and then they come out hopefully guns blazing. But it's whatever.
Is this got to move backwards to move forward kind of thing?
They're top 10, so you're right. Top 10, they're number 6 in scoring and number 7 in yards.
Still got a defense.
Tampa Bay.
Oh yeah.
Tampa.
They're still just not as good as I expected.
But maybe, hopefully, with like healthier Godwin, healthier Evans, Tom can put something together and muster some points. But I agree, it's going to be an ugly ass game because it's Thursday night.
Gross.
Yep, it's Thursday night.
Lamar is going to run wild in Florida.
I doubt it.
Did you see Lamar responding to the fan about Greg Roman?
No. What do you say?
So Lamar, man, we know you got why Greg taking the ball out of your hand, man? Why you know what else y'all do like the run pass out? Gotta ask Greg. He walked away. Great job, Lamar. You didn't take the bait, bud. I appreciate you.
All right, next game, London town. Broncos at Jaguars, but technically it's in London, so it's not really at the Jaguars.
All right, Estelle.
Hey, they'll have more fans there than they would in Jacksonville.
Go someday.
Hey, you're singing a Kanye song. You better check yourself.
Kanye probably coming soon, maybe.
You call me racist, y'all supporting Kanye?
He's still singing Kanye song.
I am not supporting Kanye, but that's not a Kanye song.
Hey, only one of us here bought the stem player.
No one hears. Shut up.
Oh, you bought the stem player.
You know this. I have a stem player.
You said you liked Donda.
I do.
You do? You're supposed to say you did.
I still listen because I bought those albums, so it's not giving me any more money. I'm not streaming.
I got the Jaguars winning this one.
Give me the Jags. Denver's a shit fuck mess.
Jags.
Give me Brett Rippon. The Denver defense is good enough to keep them in this game. And I think if they actually just run the ball, which they should, it's going to be close.
I kind of want to switch too.
Give me Denver.
Nathaniel Hackett's still the coach.
No, don't do it. Don't do this.
No.
Okay. Oh, this computer is about to restart. So if I disappear,
would you let the automatic update?
Go on to the next one.
All right. So I might regret not picking the Broncos. Maybe I think I can see the Broncos winning because they shouldn't, but they might. They really shouldn't. They shouldn't, right?
Jacksonville's going to score on defense.
That's why I was thinking. I was like, I was picking Jacksonville because of their defense, but the defense hasn't looked good in the last 2 weeks. Anyway, but Panthers at Falcons. I will go first. Before I make my pick, I just want to say, out of the years that KDot has been saying, like Atlanta, playoff team, Atlanta, right now, they are technically the best team in the NFC South.
And so when we did the preview, who said Atlanta was not going to be that bad? That was me. Y'all killed me.
Marcus Mariota, baby.
Killed me on that shit.
Do we think Atlanta's good? What's happening?
No, the whole division's bad.
Yeah,
damn.
They're the best house in a bad neighborhood, bro.
Y'all yelled at me for the whole pod.
KDot was angry that day. He was going through some shit.
Y'all yelled at me the whole pod about Atlanta.
I'm picking the Panthers. Go ahead.
Woo! All right, I got Atlanta.
DJ Moore was
good last week.
slinging it, wasn't he?
It did.
Ryan, pick.
You know what? Falcons.
KDot.
If it happens.
Falcons.
Okay. All right. Moving
You know
on.
what's interesting? KDot did not mention Kyle Pitts. I was waiting for it.
Kyle Pitts going to score 2 touchdowns. He's going to be an MVP of the game.
I was waiting for the Kyle Pitts mention.
No, I got you. Don't worry. That was
Bears at Cowboys.
Cowboys.
KDot.
We all know it's the Cowboys. Come on, let's move on.
Chicago looked good.
KDot.
Cowboys.
Ryan.
Micah Parsons is MVP.
The fuck?
Ryan.
Khalil Herbert scores 2 touchdowns. The Bears.
Okay. Dolphins at Lions. I'll pick first. Dolphins.
Same.
Dolphins.
I mean, this is the game that the Dolphins should lose, but they won't. Dolphins.
Okay. Cardinals at Vikings.
Vikings.
You want to do it.
I do. You know I do. I've stared through my phone.
Modern Warfare 2. And did y'all see that commercial? They really fucked up not having Kyler Murray in that commercial. They had everyone else. Lando Norris was in that motherfucker. They didn't have Kyler Murray. They fucked up.
He missed the shoot because he was home playing. Give me the Vikings. The Cardinals are trash.
I have the Cardinals. D-Hop is going to run off.
I was finna say
he's
D
better
Hop
than
is
Jefferson.
back.
Yeah,
It's D
but
Hop
D-Hop
versus
better than
Justin Jefferson.
He was
Yeah, he's gonna
bad.
show
It's
he's
D
better
Hop
than
versus
Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson. I'm switching my pick. I'm going Cards.
No, but here's the
going
problem.
Card.
Here's the problem. You
I think
have
James takes the lead this week.
you have D-Hop, right?
Yeah.
Getting thrown to by somebody my height and a coach who doesn't know what he's doing. And on the other side, you have the most accurate quarterback in the league and Justin Jefferson.
My guy, they put the shit on a shirt. Fuck it. Hopkins is down there somewhere. All you gotta do is throw that shit up.
That was against the Bills. Yes, I remember.
Okay.
I
All right.
I get
So
it.
yeah, don't forget.
Hey,
it's gonna happen.
people don't forget. No, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna even be
All
close.
right. All right.
All right. So moving on. Next game. Raiders at Saints. James.
Man, Saints are bad.
I'm worried about this game, but I'm just gonna take the Raiders. I'm worried about it.
KDot.
Do it.
You come back to me.
Do it.
Okay. Ryan.
The Raiders.
KDot.
He got like one extra
Well,
second.
you might kill you, asshole. You turn around in 2 seconds. Like fucking change. Shit. Raiders.
Josh
Saints.
Jacobs runs all
I'm
over
going
that
Saints.
Saints defense.
I'm going
This
Saints.
feels like a Taysom Hill game.
I'm going Saints.
I'm worried about him.
It
Thank
feels like a
God.
Taysom Hill game.
No, Max
I'm
Crosby
going
spies
Saints.
Taysom Hill the entire time.
Olave all day. Patriots at
Rocky
Jets.
Sin's a top 5 shutdown corner, apparently, according to PFF.
My
You know,
issue
they
with
be
this
fucking
game.
up.
My issue with this game.
No, they do
fuck-
be inconsistent.
They be fucking up when it's bad, but then
No, that'd be inconsistent for real. Because like they had, remember the game? I think Lamar's like amazing game in Miami.
Mhm.
He had like a 66 PFF grade, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like, what the? Like, all right. Ever since then, I'm like, "Fucking."
But like, what was the metric? All right, I understand.
But no, it's like there's some inconsistencies in the grade. I don't. It's like it's not bad, but it's like.
But it's like over the course of the season so far, he has he was out too. But all right, never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Patriots at Jets. I'll go first. Patriots.
Who's
I got the
starting at
Jets.
quarterback?
It doesn't matter. I'm going with Zappe.
No, if it's Mac
I think
Jones,
it's Mac Jones.
if it's Mac Jones,
He's been non-committal. Bill's been non-committal.
As
You
he
know how
should
Bill
be.
is.
Zappy's a way better quarterback. I think we can all see that with our eyes.
It's not entirely true.
Man,
No.
I knew he wasn't going to be that good when he saw him walk out the tunnel for the draft.
Here, look,
No
Mac
good
Jones.
QB walks
Here's
like that.
the issue with
them
Mac
hips.
Jones.
It's them hips.
Here's the issue with Mac Jones. He's
Yeah,
a bitch.
why? Like
Look,
he's a
wears
straight up
arms.
bitch.
The arm swinging outwards. Like, what are
Look,
you doing?
Mac Jones is a bitch. The we have to get rid of Cam Newton because it's going to hurt his psyche. Was red flag number 1. Red flag number 2 was all the bullshit about the injury early this year about whether or not he wanted to come back or not come back. And red flag number 3, he kicked dude in the nuts on a goddamn slide. It was some bullshit. Zappy is the more electrifying quarterback, but they need a quarterback. Mac Jones was a Pro Bowler last year. Give me the Patriots.
Jets can whoop that ass.
JETS South.
Yes. Okay. All right. Steelers at Eagles. KDot.
Also,
Eagles.
I want to say Mac Jones is the Wish version of Joe Burrow.
That
The
no.
Make-A-Wish version? Like
No,
he-
the Wish.
Oh,
Like if you ordered from Wish,
as in,
and you
like
ordered
the
Joe
Walmart.
Burrow. Yeah.
No, I think Make a Wish is more right. As in, John Cena's coming to see you right before it's over.
yeah, no, that's how I feel. All right.
Eagles.
Yeah.
You ever hear the Shane Gillis bit? John Cena's the angel of death.
Are we all on the Eagles?
Bro.
Is everybody on the Eagles?
Oh, Jesus
Yeah, Eagles.
Eagles.
Oh, this is one of those interstate games that could get kind of crazy, but Philadelphia's just clearly
Ryan,
better.
your Eagles too?
Philly is just they're winning on all cylinders right now.
Yeah, they
except
already
for-
started greasing the poles in Philly, so let's go.
No, it didn't work. They burned that city down. Mauricio couldn't get to work because they fucking torched the subway system. I love Philadelphia.
Philadelphia's amazing.
It's so great.
I can't look at
Titans.
John Cena the same again.
Titans at
Never
Houston,
won a
I
meeting.
think Titans at Houston. I think the Titans are on upset alert in
Yeah.
this game for sure.
I'm taking
But I'm
Davis.
picking the Titans.
I'm taking Davis Mills and Damian Pierce. That kid runs hard.
Yeah. Pierce is nice, but still the Titans. They figured
Titans.
it out. The Titans figured it out.
Give me a text.
I don't think they figure shit out. I honestly, they're 4-2, and their point differential is -13. They're not that good.
They're not
blown
good
out in the beginning, right?
They're not good.
They're not that good of a team.
I think
blown out in the
Houston's
beginning.
I think Houston's bad too.
But
I just think they're both bad teams.
Yeah, and
anyone can win.
Houston's at home.
Yeah, that probably is enough.
Yeah,
So,
they got destroyed by the Bills. That's why.
yeah, but that's not good. That's not
I
good.
know, but like even like you said, like the negative point differential, but it was negative.
But they
30.
haven't destroyed any other teams.
True, but
Like,
like win.
you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to make up for the.
That's
you
true.
get destroyed. You got to at least win by like 20.
Hey,
20
guess
games.
what? And guess what? That's what they're gonna do this time.
That might be. It might be. It might be.
Maybe John Cena's "You Can't See Me" is because
No,
everybody.
let's not
sees
talk
this
about
guy.
John Cena.
I just sent y'all a video. Please watch.
No,
So-
I don't want to see this
Titans,
man. I can't
It's not
see
Cena
him.
dynamic.
I can't see him.
I picked
I know
Titans.
he's invisible.
Oh my god, I'm listening to you.
KDot, did you pick Texans or
Yeah, I mean
Titans? All right.
Texans.
I don't have a good feeling on my picks. Usually when I'm doing it like live on the pot, it goes really bad. James about to take the lead. I'm very upset.
All right. In the Wentz revenge game, which he will not participate in, Washington travels to Indianapolis. Who are we taking?
Washington
Battle
by
of the
10.
backups that are now the starters.
Washington by 10.
I think Washington by like 5.
I know Ryan will be watching every snap. Commanders.
I watch every snap of most games. Like I'm watching the
Speaking-
Wiz right now. Like I don't know what to tell you.
I'm gonna go with Sam Ehrlinger, giving the Colts a jolt, and Jonathan Taylor getting 30 carries and 150 yards and 2 touches, and they beat Washington by 17.
Have you
So
seen our
for
run
a
defense?
team that's averaging 81 yards a game, you think
Yeah.
he's going to break that streak against the Washington defense?
Yeah.
All right.
They aren't who we thought they were. Sorry.
We let them off the hook. 49ers at Rams.
You know, we let Aaron. You know the Packers only had 38 rushing yards against us, right?
No, I didn't know that. That's good.
Yeah,
That's a good stat. How many times they run the ball?
A lot because fucking Aaron only had 170 fucking passing yards.
They didn't actually. They couldn't do anything against us.
I was going to say that. I don't think they ran it a lot.
No, they didn't. He ran under 10 times.
Okay, I don't think they ran it a lot. They
Well,
should
they
have.
also
They really should have.
There's a lot of drops.
the Packers didn't have the ball a lot either because the
They kept dropping the ball.
Commanders had a lot of possession. So
Yep.
The best running back we faced so far this year has been Derrick Henry, and I think Tennessee had overall 105 rushing yards.
I mean, Derrick Henry's getting 100 yards a game. That's just what happened.
And
Well, 'cause
he had to break one. I think he had to have like a 50-something yarder.
They got
49ers
10
at Rams.
Niners. They
Niners.
Niners.
fucking they eat the
Niners.
Rams' lunch, and the Rams. They're
Giants.
not who we thought they were.
At Seahawks.
I'm going to Giants.
Seahawks at home.
G-Men.
I got the Giants. All right, Ryan, we know where you're going.
Give me
Gino.
current
MVP frontrunner.
MVP candidate Geno Smith. Y'all thought I was crazy. I ain't crazy. They wrote him
All right.
off, and he never wrote back.
Look,
But you know he's
you
not
know
an
what?
MVP candidate because he's Geno Smith.
No, he's
Why,
a
'cause he's
candidate.
black. That's racist.
All right, fine. He's a candidate. He'll never win because he's Geno.
You know what,
All right.
Ryan? This almost makes up for your Steph Curry takes. Not really, but almost.
In the
'cause
game-
those were bad.
In the game that Ryan really cares about, that he really, to his soul, that he knows that matters to him, Packers at Bills. You go first, Ryan. You tell us who's going to win this game, buddy.
So I think it's going to be close.
Okay.
I think it's going to be Bills by 35.
Oh, okay. That's close. That's close. Only
Wait,
5 touchdowns.
Have you watched the Packers? Like,
Yes.
oh my god.
Did you hear the shit that Aaron was
I
talking about
always
in the
turn
press
that
conference?
off.
No, what did he say?
Aaron's talking shit. He's kind of right. He's like, oh,
It's
well, I mean,
everybody's fault except his.
well, hold on. I just want everybody to, if you're ever feeling like you need to figure out, just rewind all of my Aaron Rodgers takes and see how right I've been. The Bills are going to beat the fucking brakes off of Green Bay. Although, you know what? If Green Bay could figure out there's this thing they should do. Oh, right. Run the ball.
Run the ball!
I mean, it's going to be hard to
Run the ball!
when when
Aaron
Josh Allen
Jones
has
is sick, and
300
I
yards.
don't get it. Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon could be the best tandem in the league if they gave him the opportunities to do it.
Yeah, but it's going to be hard when they're down by 21 in the first quarter to run the ball.
You should run the ball if the only wide receiver that got targeted through 3 quarters is Dobbs once. Like,
And guess what? He didn't catch a fucking
he didn't fucking catch it. Like,
the whole game.
Fucking game.
I don't understand. I don't understand LaFleur at all.
That man had 0 fantasy points.
Did y'all see that? Did y'all see that throw and catch to Aaron Jones in the end zone though?
Yeah, that was dirty.
Bless him. Bless him. All right. Moving on. Did everybody pick? Everybody made their picks, right? I'm Buffalo
And
Cross.
KDot, there's no way in hell they're gonna be able to run the ball.
All right.
I got the Bills, and I think this game is Aaron Rodgers is gonna request a trade.
No, I think
It's gonna be that bad.
He's done.
He's not done. He's not done. He's not done. He's high on ayahuasca. He's having a blast because he doesn't really give a shit. And next year he's coming back to collect $50 million. Fuck off. Aaron Rodgers doesn't give a shit.
So the lowest. So the San Francisco 49ers have the second best rushing defense in the NFL. They give up 91 yards a game. The Bills are first at 76 yards a game.
Yeah, that's because they're
Ravens
up by so much you can't run the ball anymore.
The Ravens ran the ball against them. You can run the ball against them.
You can run the ball, but it's just if you're up by 21 points, you kind of get one-dimensional on offense.
Well, then I think in the second half of that,
And they're top 10 in passing
run the ball
defense too.
That's the thing.
That's
the pass
what
defense is it. So like that's the thing with Buffalo that makes them terrifying. It's not that they're rush. I'm not saying the rush defense is bad. If you can just try to control the time of possession and score running the ball, which Green Bay should be able to do. They should be able to do. That you can keep that close.
Could they do it against y'all?
I'm picking the fucking Packers. Let's go.
No, that's my point. They didn't even choose to.
Don't do that to yourself, Cam.
They literally didn't choose to.
You picked the Packers,
this, bro.
You picked the Packers?
They got this.
Okay.
They got this, bro.
All right.
I really do think that. I don't think it's a terrible pick.
It very well could be that fluke game where Josh throws 3 picks.
It's not even a
It's
fluke.
not about that. It's not about that.
It's just sticking to the game plan and doing
Their game plan is broken.
That's my issue. I don't think Green Bay
identity.
But I don't think Green Bay sticks to the game plan. That's the issue.
Rodgers,
Green Bay and Aaron.
Dillon,
But did y'all watch the Commanders Packers game?
Yeah.
I watched bits and pieces.
Did you see Aaron multiple times through the game look at the sideline at LaFleur and the players and say, "What the fuck are we doing?" He kept screaming, "What are we doing? What the fuck are we doing?" And I don't know if it's the play calling, because I would expect Aaron should be able to check out of shit regardless of whatever the coach says, but it looks like he's not able to. And if that's the case and they're having him throw the ball all the time, the LaFleur needs a fucking lobotomy because it makes no sense.
Who's a better team, the Chiefs or the Packers?
It's Ryan, you got to understand. It's not that clearly Buffalo's a better team. Clearly. But if you get the ball first, you control the time of possession, you know Buffalo's going to score. But if you hold the ball, run and get into the end zone, then all you're doing is you're limiting the ability, just from a mathematical standpoint, the Buffalo can score that many points on you.
Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Also, what you're not thinking about is we all had them going like 15-2, and this is the 2. This is the 2, motherfucker. They gonna win out after this. They're not gonna lose another game.
I think they're gonna lose like to another good team. Not this.
It's gonna be Miami
until they hit San Francisco in the Super Bowl. It's game over.
No. They win out after this. Josh Allen wins his MVP.
Half the team won't be there by
flame out in the playoffs.
Probably. That's what my teams do.
But all right, so
Bengals.
all right, I'm the only one on the Packers. Bengals, Browns, Bengals. All right. Final thoughts. I will go first. DC has announced
like Washington, DC,
that James Gunn is taking over. He will be running things now for DCU. The DCU is no longer the DCEU. The banner under Warner Bros. Is now DC Studios, like Marvel Studios, but we're not going to do any comparisons. But James Gunn will be running things. That does not include, films like the Batman and the Joker. It's more so like the Black Adam type of films and like the Henry Cavill Superman films, and whatever they do with that. Maybe Harley Quinn, whatever they decide to do with that. I'm intrigued. I won't say excited. I'm intrigued. James Gunn he's into comic books. He's into comic book superheroes. Like he's not into just like the main guy. He's into like the small, like, I was in this comic for 3 issues and nobody remembers me, but James Gunn does. He's into those type of characters. So I'm anxious to see what they'll do. It's only a 4-year deal, but I'm assuming within the next year we'll get a bunch of announcements about their plan moving forward and all this. I'm sure they'll green light Black Adam 2 and Shazam 3 and all that shit, and Black Adam versus Superman and Superman 2 and all this good shit. I hope they do Brainiac for this Superman sequel. I really do. I really want to see Brainiac be a villain, and that would be exciting for me. So
who was you said James Gunn?
Yeah, James Gunn.
Any relation to West Side? No. Okay.
I think it'd be good if DC can just let him do his thing.
Cook.
But a 4-year deal, he'll find a way to fuck this up. He'll find a way. Look, the best DCEU movie, in my opinion, is probably The Suicide Squad. Put it out there.
The second one?
Yes, The Suicide Squad, not Suicide Squad.
The one where you get the first squad at the beginning, and then that's not the squad.
Exactly. Amazing movie. I think it's like 97% of Rotten Tomatoes. It was fucking dope as shit. So I like Birds of Prey. I actually really did like Birds of Prey.
I never finished it.
So House of Dragons had their season finale on Sunday, which
Houses?
I am Dragons houses, because apparently black people like putting S's on it, according to Ryan. So beyond that,
hey, that's just what Kanye told me, man. I don't really know, man.
Kanye to the.
So you're a Jew that's listening to Kanye for advice on black people. This just makes all the sense in the world.
He seems to know the Jews
This
so
whole
well.
fucking show is ass backwards. Like, what's going on?
Here, House of Dragons is great, but I will let people know. While I think We Own the City was the best television show on TV this year, even though it's a miniseries, so I don't know if you really count it because of the series. The best show, although I love House of Dragons, that's on TV right now, with a lot of good television. Atlanta's been killing it this season. Andor. And if you're not watching Andor, it's Disney Plus. It's a Star Wars thing. Andor is the best thing on TV right now, in my opinion. And it's not getting, because Star Wars fans are fucking stupid. They're not giving it the props that it deserves to get, because while they continue to complain about, we're sick and tired of the Skywalker story, guys, we need something else. The moment you deviate from it is the moment all of them get the fucking lightsabers in a bunch and they're fucking pissed off and they need to get their heads out of their own asses. They don't even know what they want, but they are killing this thing. It is incredible television. And it is, and I love The Mandalorian, but I think I'm preferring Andor.
Does it get better after the first episode? Because that shit was boring.
I hate you.
I'm just asking. It was like,
I hate you.
It was kind of plot development. No,
they released the first 3 episodes together. You got to look at that as one unit.
Hello. Yeah, I only watched one. I only watched one episode. What happened? And then
it just looks like James is back in the corner of the room, doesn't it? Because it's like it just looks like James is back there.
That's a code to the camera.
James,
James's doppelganger just walked through the room.
I didn't know you had a mirror back there.
What's up, y'all?
Yeah, from far back, it looks like y'all coordinate facial hair, so it's just weird.
All right.
If y'all coordinate facial hair, then that fruit makes sense. List fruits. I'm sorry.
I didn't know you were gonna do my final thoughts
now, bro.
Do your final thought, bro. Do your final thought.
Christ. All right. So I want to talk about 2 things. First, Josh Jacobs is doing his fucking thing.
Legend.
He's heating up. He's heating up. That man is really heating up. And then outside of that, I might be the first one to tell you guys this, but Luka and Chris Wood on the floor at the same time is really fucking deadly. The offensive rating of the Mavs when they're on the floor together was at 150, like 2 something, the highest ever rating for a team at any, like, throughout the year is like 131. So they are killing it. And
where was he? The Rockets? Did he get traded?
Yeah, he was at the Rockets. Yeah. Chris Wood is what we thought Porzingis could be.
You watch your
and
fucking mouth.
no, I'm dead serious. And then the issue was like they were like, yeah, Chris Wood was a problem in Houston. Look at him now, over there fighting each other on the sideline. It's ridiculous.
Go Bills.
GG on the Bills. Congrats. Your team is really good. But fuck you.
All right, are we done?
Yeah.
Everybody